Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. Today I'm digging a space mission. I'm setting it up so I can put 2 coins for 1 play on this game. In per the schematics, you should be able to do it, but it's all related to the 5-cent relay. So I went through this and I realized that the 5-cent switch is missing, and I think it was from the factory it was missing. These 2 wires are the 5-cent switches, and they were tucked in there very nicely. I've got them ends stripped, but I stripped those. They were not stripped; they were tucked under the catgut. So I think that was factory. And then you go back here, you look at where that says 5-cent relay there. That's open spot. There is no 5-cent relay. There also supposed to be an alternator unit on this game. I don't believe there is an alternator unit. Now and I was thinking that's the match unit in the back that kind of acts like an alternator. That's a different. In the schematics, they show an alternator unit and a match unit. The match unit is the one that kind of acts like the alternator for the game. The alternator actually is the unit that allows you to put 2 coins for 1 play. It's not in the game. So I guess that was old school for nickels. They probably designed it. By the time they started manufacturing, it was like nobody was playing with nickels anymore, so they just got rid of it. That's my thought. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all know for sure. So anyway, I posted another video about using a score reel. Basically, uses wipers, and you tie every other one of those together. So like I've got the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 all tied together. So every time you put a quarter in, that thing goes forward, and every other time it goes forward and the pulse goes through. And I'm gonna wire it up in series with the 25-cent relay. So when the 25-cent relay goes, when it should go, this one's going to go every time, and every other time the 25-cent relay will go. The other thing I did is I dug out, I wanted to have an odometer on here, and a play meter if you like, and I just pulled this thing out. It's not working. I just ohmed this thing out. I've got 6 ohms across here, which is probably right. So I'm thinking it's just jammed up or something. I'm going to crack this thing open and take a look at it, see if I can get it working. And if not, I'll see if I can find another one laying around here and wire it up. Yeah, I was using this Craftsman here. How about this from Sears, back when there was a Sears, and back when you could actually just throw this up on the counter and they give you a new one. That was before the time when you throw it up on the counter and they kind of look at you cross-eyed. It's like, what are you prying with your screwdriver? And then they still give you a new one, but they kind of give you a hard out. Now it's like, I don't know where you take an old screwdriver to get it replaced. I don't think Kmart did them or something. I don't know if they'll, I don't know. Let's see what the episode. It was just stuck. It's working fine. I don't know. Oh, there, I see it's there. It's not going. It was somehow, if it's upside down, it was jammed there for a second. There's something kind of wonky about it. I got it to jam once. It seems very free, but oh, there it is. If you push in a little bit that way when you're pulling down, it jams. So any pressure in that dimension, it will jam. Actually, any pressure in this one, if it's not directly straight down, it wants to jam. I don't know how to keep it from getting cockeyed. There's a certain amount of play that's just kind of inherent in these things. Everything looks straight. I wonder if you can reset these. Not really. That whole piece, there's 2 or 3 pieces, and it's all metal on metal. I am tempted to just put a little bit of 3-in-1 on there. Flush it out with some 3-in-1 and then leave a little 3-in-1 in there, and that might help my situation. I think I'll do that and then button it back up and wire it up and call it good. So I've just been working this and flushing it with this 3-in-1. I usually use the red stuff because it lubricates, penetrates rust, and it cleans. So it's got a cleaning agent in there also. So it's got a little bit more penetrating aspect to it than I think the blue. I think the blue is just straight oil, where this has some cleaners in it. Usually when I'm using oil on a pinball machine, I'm wanting it to get in there and clean also. I think that lateral pressure it's not getting stuck now. At least like even with moderate pressure, it's not sticking like it was before. So I think I'm going to call that good. I'll wipe off some of this excess and jam this case back on there and rebend those tabs a little bit. It's maybe a trick getting it back together. Get those two in. It's hard to get all four at the same time. There we go. All right, so I think that's going to work. I'll solder that back in the game. And I'm going to solder this on the downside of the score reel, so this will only go when not instead of every quarter, it'll do every 50 cents or every play. Anyway, so I'm gonna get back in the machine and I'll solder everything up. Well, I've got this out of the game. I've got good access here. I'm gonna go ahead and solder up some leads to this, and I can get half of it done when it's easy. I've got a better soldering iron than the kind of the crappy one I used down in the machine. Oh geez, that didn't work very well. All right, now I'll take this and... All right, so the first thing I did is I just screwed that odometer in and I soldered in the old wires. I've got the new wires, they're just laying here. So haven't done anything. None of this is wired up, so it's basically stock. So I'm gonna just fire it up and I'm gonna see if this odometer works. I'm gonna add a coin. I'm gonna hit the coin switch here. Let me zoom in here a little bit. It does not. So maybe it was working the whole time. It's just, I don't know. Well, I'm going to rewire this anyway because I'm going to wire this directly off the match unit or from the output of this. the score reel. So I don't know. That's wild. Jump. Tempted to. So that's my 25-cent score or coin relay, and that's actuating. So I've got the 35, 40 volts, whatever, across those two terminals right there. I'm sitting and jumping those to this and see if I can get it to fire doing that. I may do that. So here's the schematics on these coins. So the 5-cent switch, and there's a plug, 1 or 2. If you put it on 2, it's 2 coins per switch, and it goes through this alternator unit. Alternator rotates and forces it and closes this switch here on every other turn, just like that does now, and then closes the coin relay. But this nonsense is missing every part of it. The switch is missing, the alternator unit is missing, the coin relay is there. So anyway, I'm looking at, so I've been monkeying with this. I think it's labeled the cash box. I think that's what that's called on this schematic, which is the coin meter. So it should be already in parallel with the 25-cent relay, but as it's wired up, it's not. I just measured continuity between the 2 black sides, the 0 ohms, but between the other sides, I've got about 19 ohms, which is, so it's going through a coil. So I don't understand that. It's drawn. That's not the way it's wired. But unless that cash box is not what I'm thinking it is, but I don't know what else the cash box would be unless that was the play meter. I guess I'll scroll down here and look at all the potential things it could be and see if there's anything else that looks like a play meter. There is something else. Total play meter is E5. So I was looking at the wrong thing. I'm glad I decided to be a little more diligent to figure out what. So E5 is right here. So yeah, it's pretty far removed from this nonsense up here. It's all the way down here. So that's why, yeah, I'm measuring from here, and the second 25-cent relay there and there, and to go through those 2 sides, it's going through a coil to get there. So really, for whatever reason, it's not working right now. So I'm not sure if maybe the coin unit step up is working, so it's going through. Maybe that coin unit, the play meter is just bad. I'm thinking it's just bad because all this stuff down here is working. So this path, I don't know if y'all are focused in enough to see. This path here is working because all this stuff down here is working. So that should also be working. The only thing that's different about this than all this stuff down below it is that coil and the mechanism in there. So the resistance is good. With my finger, it seemed like it was fine, but I just started a whole bunch of games and it's not working. I saw a couple times it kind of wiggle. It kind of like halfway going. So I think it's junk. I'm gonna trash it and just get a different one. So I'm gonna back up a second. I'm gonna go ahead and desolder this, rip it out, and I'm gonna get this thing working, and then I'm gonna come back and try to get this working. Okay, I got the bad play meter out of the game. Spin those leads so they're not touching anything, and now I'm gonna wire up all this nonsense in line with the 25-cent relay right before that, and see if I can get it to work like that, and then I'll come back and try to find myself another one of these laying around the shop somewhere and install it here. Okay, so I got about halfway soldered in here. I got some of it soldered. I don't have my heat shrink, and I just put a jumper on for one of the wires. But here's what I can show you when I hit these switches here. One of these switches, either door switch. So every other time it points up. can't see the score reel, but it's putting credits on. Anyway, so I think that's good. I just need to butt this up and then see if I can find a play meter for right here. And the coin box, cash box, I don't know what that is. Anybody knows, post it down in the comments. I'm kind of interested to see what that is, if anybody has a clue. I certainly don't. All right, so I got the new 1940s vintage play meter in there. The numbers are upside down. That's all right. It works. And that was out of a really old game I've got in the back from the flipperless game. You know, I've only got the cabinet. I don't have the head, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I put a post on Facebook saying if anybody needed a cabinet. Anyway, so today I'm gonna take this down to Sutry's High Gravity Tavern and set it up for play. Yeah, I need this. Can't play for a quarter piece. That's just a little too cheap. 50 cents seems a little bit more appropriate for a nice EM like this. So anyway, I think I'll post a video when I get down there and setting it up, and you can kind of check out Sutry's. If you're from Knoxville, you probably know what Sutry's is like. And if you're not, it'll give you a chance to check it out. All right, so just checking out this space mission. Y'all saw me working on it. I stuck this in service on 5.3. I wrote down the odometer, 09832, and as of today, it's 09911. So about 80 coins. So today is, let's my watch is 5/8. So it's still the afternoon. I haven't played 5/8 yet. The place hasn't opened yet, so not too bad. I was in here the other day, and I did notice 2 errors. The bonus ladder it's moving up and scoring. You'll see it flicker, but these lights are not staying on well. And the other thing, the same player shoots again light is not coming on. It does come on up here. You can see that. You almost see the edge of it right there. So that light comes on, but this one doesn't. So that could be several different things. It could be a bad bulb, it could be a bad socket, or it could be the relay is not making contact. Although it could be the same relay or the same contact for that and that. I'm not sure if that's the same contact or 2 different contacts. I didn't bring my schematics. But let's just hope it's a bad bulb or a bad socket. I'm betting on a socket. And as for this is probably part of the bonus unit, the finger swiping, or it might be, it's like once this gets to 10, there's a switch that closes where the 10 comes on, or the 20 comes on, and it could be part of that mechanism. So I'm gonna open this thing up. I think I'll start with the Sunny Player Shoots again. So let me start a game real quick. Got to put a credit on it earlier. I'll start a game, and I'll have to. I want to earn free ball. I kept saying free game. I meant a free ball. Okay, so we've got the same shoots again there. We don't have it down here. So let me open this up and. Probably not a bad bulb because it's an LED. Let me get my multimeter and see if I get any voltage. So I got my leads on there. 6 volts AC, so it could be that the socket's still not getting, so you know, I've got it on the leads, but it's not actually up to the socket, so I don't know that socket's transmitting power to the bulb. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just swap out the bulb. Well, I didn't have an incandescent bulb, or I only had an incandescent bulb in the toolbox, so that'll have to do for now. That'll go in the trash. So let me show you the bonus again, and it might be only when it gets to the 10,000. I know it was only 10,000 when I noticed it was not working. So I'm gonna hit this switch up here, which advances bonus. I'm just gonna do it one at a time. Okay, the 3's not. Okay, see, it's just intermittent. It's not, okay, the 10 is good. The 10's not good. So, all that's controlled by the bonus unit. So let me pick up the play field and we'll take a look at that. Okay, this is the bonus unit. I know that because it says bonus unit on there. And don't be afraid to mess around with this stuff. So like, I'm looking at the lights up there and I'm just gonna touch that one there. Watch what happens when I touch this. I can get it all in the same field of view. I'm pressing with my finger. So that rivet there is just not making good contact. And this green one, remember that one was not always, that one there, the 10,000, that's that one there. So it has been quite some time since I've cleaned this, so I'm just going to clean this up real quick. Just some alcohol in a brush, and then a little PBR grease, and I think this will be back to service. Okay, I just cleaned that up. Usually I'd use a Scotch-Brite, but I didn't have one with me, so I just use a toothbrush. It really doesn't take much, and I did file the underside of these pads just real quickly. And now that it's, oops, let me go the other way. Now let me turn my headlamp off. I'm just going to manually step these things up. That green one's the 10K, and that's the 20K. So it's all working, stepping up, stepping down, and so that's working. I got my little incandescent for my free ball. I kind of actually like that one because that's one of those semi-translucent lenses up there. So you can kind of see the bulb, and I like to see the incandescent bulbs in there. So I think I'm done with this. So if you like this video, click like, click subscribe, and if you want to play this beauty, come on down to Sutry's and give it a run.